Rarity? What are you doing?
Obviously, I'm working on my apology to you, Spike. I don't know how I could be more genuine. I mean, Spike!
In your eyes, the light, the heat, I am complete.
Rarity has gotten so used to Spike's assistance and chivalry over the years, it's become a budding friendship. However, recently, Spike is too busy to assist Rarity due to other commitments. That other commitment is Gabby the Griffin. Feeling neglected and a bit jealous, Rarity tries to insert herself back into Spike's life, hurting another friendship in the process. Hello everybody, and welcome back to At the Screening. As always, I'm the voice of reason, fully recovered from last time.
Yeah, please make sure horror score never crosses my path again.
You got it, dude.
What did I just say?! Sorry about that. And as always, I'm Thespio, and today's episode is Dragon Dropped. Honestly, with a title like that, I was afraid it was going to be some sick take on Spike's true origin story. You know, not like the BS one we got from Sludge and Father Knows Beast. But nope, it's actually a Asperity episode. And possibly the last.
Shh. You hear that? That's the sound of several thousand bronies giving a sigh of relief.
You hear that? That's the sound of several other thousand bronies screaming in anguish.
Well, here's the sound of a brony squeeing over a new ship because, oh my god, Spike and Second Best Griffin are great friends and they have legitimate chemistry between each other and they're adorable together. I could just squeeze them into a giant beanbag of wholesomeness and... Sorry about that. But yeah, you look on screen with these two explaining how they ended up as close friends, possibly an item, and I just can't help but put a 10-mile white smile on my face.
Whoa. Cool your jets there, Casanova. Even though he has matured, we do have to remember that Spike is still a kid. Possibly. So I don't think we can really assume they're, quote-unquote, an item. But I will not deny that they do share a unique friendship as pen pals. Which, in the context of their characters, it does make sense. They both come from cultures that aren't used to friendship, they're both messengers, and they both like to help others. But then again, we also have implied moments like this.
Oh my.
So, I suppose I won't deny the possibility?
Ugh, let me dream, dang it.
Hey, you think you're the only one with unfulfilled dreams? Raritwi will become a thing eventually, mark my words! There, I solved the cricket problem. Happy?
Sure. Anyway, this is, sadly, where we disagree on how Rarity's actions transpired. Like I mentioned earlier, Rarity initially was apologizing for literally no reason, as she did nothing to upset Spike. Remember that, it's gonna hurt later. So in order to get Spike back into her life, not the other way around, she forces situations upon him so he hangs out with her and stiffs Gabby in the process. Now, wanting to hang out after not being able to for a long time, I completely buy that. What I don't buy is this. Yeah, this is several layers of creepy. However, there is some wiggle room as Spike does leave a note for Gabby that he's unable to visit her along her morning mail rounds. Then it gets a little too coincidental. Rarity bumps into Gabby and just so happens to have two passes for a comic convention that's only happening that day. It really felt like Rarity was intentionally sabotaging Spike and Gabby's newly formed friendship so Spike could be with her. That's not something I see Rarity doing. That's something that Regina George from Mean Girls or even Discord would do. What sealed my suspicions was Rarity showing up at the castle to play a game of O&O, and Gabby finding out Spike was possibly ditching her to spend time with Rarity. I'm sorry, but I got vindictive ex-girlfriend vibes from all of this, and it did not sit right with me.
Well, hey now, I don't know if I would really make that strong of a comparison here. While yes, you're not wrong about Rarity's actions being underhanded, when you really think about it, it still makes sense with the kind of character she is and why she did the things she did. Throughout the course of the show up until now, Spike's crush/infatuation with Rarity has decreased quite a bit, or at the very least shows up in little spurts. But over time, Rarity has grown to appreciate his presence a lot more as a friend as well as an assistant. When it all boils down, Rarity has never really faced a situation like this where she has to share spending time with someone who's had this big of an impact on her everyday life. As a result of this unknown territory, she's found herself fallen victim to her biggest vices, which are a combination of vanity and greed. But here, I never really felt it grew to a point where her entire character was flanderized or where she was becoming more of her discorded self in Return of Harmony. And if I may play a little bit of devil's advocate again, Rarity's actions, while unprincipled, were understandable. In a sense, I guess there's no other way to say this, but bear with me, this was akin to Rarity finding out that Spike was cheating on her. While at first she didn't understand what drove him away until she met Gabby, despite her jealousy and foolishness, Rarity wants to try and mend a supposed broken relationship between her and Spike. And even after all of this, Rarity did still learn something and took the effort to make things right between all parties. Albeit late, but hey, better late than never. And honestly, I think the one who walked away from this the happiest was Spike. I mean, he now has 2 girls wanting to spend personal time with him. I'd say take them both, man.
Oh, so that's how it works.
You feel good about that?
Kinda. But hey, would you rather this have ended in just, I don't know, a big cat fight or something?
Well, no, it's just, remember back to what I said earlier about Rarity apologizing for nothing? Now there was a reason to apologize, and she's completely oblivious. It takes Twilight to tell her she done effed up. And you know my pet peeve about having characters being told the lesson by someone else because of short-sightedness or stupidity. Honestly, if the gestures for Spike to hang out with Rarity didn't come across as resentful, and she came to the conclusion herself during the talk with Twilight at the end, instead of the other way around, I might have been a bit more forgiving.
I don't know. I don't think that's really the case. Someone being told the lesson because they were too short-sighted to figure it out by themselves, I think fits more with Starlight and every little thing she does than anything else. Here, Twilight was more or less just an extra nudge that Rarity needed to fully get the picture. I mean, we do see partway through the second montage, and when they get back to Twilight's castle, Rarity is slowly but surely starting to get the big picture and realizes she's been going about this all wrong. Sure, she's kind of waning in and out of her conclusion when Twilight confronts her, but in the end, I'd argue that she still figures it out all by herself.
I've just grown so used to having Spiky Wikey around. I wasn't prepared for how much I'd miss him when he wasn't.
Friendships change, but just because Spike made a new friend doesn't mean he stops being yours.
I know, but now I have to share him.
Phrasing.
Sorry, I had to get that joke out of the way. But all innuendo aside, it's that little bit at the end that I think seals my point. The fact she said, I know. Sure, she takes a bit to figure it out, but that's kind of the norm in most shows. Yeah, it's a dumb cliche, but at the very least, you can't deny that eventually she does show signs of remorse and regret instead of being completely ignorant.
I suppose. It's just hard to ignore some of the undertones I mentioned before. But I think I can bring it back to some positives. For one, Tabitha St. Germain brought the entire pig farm with her because she was hamming it up all the way.
And that is why I simply cannot bear the thought of having hurt you. And even though I don't know what it is that I did, I want you to know that it doesn't matter. Because I am prepared to do anything to make it right. And scene.
Oh, Tabitha, you gifted woman, you.
Yeah, it's no secret she brought her A game to this performance, like she always does. Next to Pinkie Pie, Rarity is consistently one of the most expressive characters in the main cast, and this is no exception. Especially with the animators, of course, giving their all when animating her facial expressions to couple with Tabitha's recordings. But that doesn't mean we aren't given our fair share of derps. And I don't just mean seeing Derpy again, I mean this.
And there's the pink! How will I ever choose?
Well, A, I guess my dream of Raritwai ain't too far off. And B, I expect this frame to be used as funny fan art fuel immediately. Comic artists, To your tablets!
I'm not an artist. But anyway, I think it's wrap-up time. While I do appreciate the humor, animation, and genuine bond that Spike and Gabby share, after all, who could say no to more Gabby, the conflict itself just rubbed me the wrong way. Yes, Rarity did end up apologizing to Gabby and Spike for the ordeal, but I can't ignore the creepy and manipulative undertones the story represented. This unfortunately leaves me giving Dragon Dropped a hooves down.
Another divide between us, it seems, cause I'm willing to give this a hooves up. While I don't disagree that Rarity's actions were manipulative, I still see it as being consistent with her character, and her simply falling victim to her vices due to the situation being new to her. And seeing her with these vices still makes her three-dimensional and, in a way, more human and more relatable. Besides, even with your reservations, Voice, I think we can all agree that her obliviousness wasn't as painful to watch as Trixie's was in All Bottled Up, right?
You know what? Yeah, you have a point. I'll definitely take this over that atrocity any day. Oh no. I just remembered.
What is it?
The next episode, A Horseshoe-In, is a Starlight Trixie episode. And from what I've been warned about, it's supposedly a combination of All Bottled Up and A Matter of Principles.
Oh, crap.
Anyways, thanks for stopping by at the screening. I'm afraid.
And I'm very afraid. Please
Please
send
send help.
help!